Hi, welcome. My name is Cynthia. Welcome to this reading. Welcome to my channel if you're new. I'm a clinical social worker and I've been reading tarot since I was 15. And I wanted to just come on and do a layout. I had a couple things I was channeling before, actually just one. It was just one kind of channeled message. I've got some copal and juniper burning here, and I'll burn a little bit of mugwort too. I've been having a little bit of a rough weekend, just energetically feeling like I have some energetic challenges to manage my energy and not take on the resentments and stressors of energy around me, right? That's a common issue, especially if you're sensitive. So that's partly why I'm burning the smoke, just to help me open my third eye to give a clear reading and have it cleanse out again. I've been kind of cleansing my home repeatedly, and if you're really a sensitive person, you should do that really often. So yeah, it was two channeled messages. So the first is to mention blue avians again, which I was sort of resistant to the idea of like star seeds for a long time. I'm now not resistant to them anymore. And the star beings or the star races that really resonate the most with me are the blue avians. They feel like old souls, and they often, if you believe in this and they're incarnated here on this planet, they like to indulge because they are old souls and they're fatigued and tired from the journey. And they often just want to feel good and want to turn away from the challenges of the world. And I often feel like that. In fact, that's how I'm feeling right now. Like, even though there's a lot of really scary things going on in the world, it's like, I just want to feel good. I'm tired of the stress, right? I'm tired of worrying about this, gosh, is this going to start on fire? No, it's just burning really well. And, that can happen, right? Where you just want to avoid it all and go into like getting high, getting drunk. And that's me. Like, I've really had to fight because I've been trying to not get high lately. I've been trying to just find other ways to manage my sadness or my PTSD or whatever it might be, right? But I love to smoke weed. I like to be on drugs, right? I like to get high, but I'm also a clinical social worker. It's not responsible for me to be escaping through substances all the time. I mean, we all have our vices. Some people escape through TV, some people escape through gaming, some people escape through gambling, right? It's just, what's your choice? What's your poison, right? And so something about blue avians might resonate with you. And if it does, if you're like me and you like to indulge and you want to try to forget and get out of the sort of traumatic memory and traumatic messaging that's all around us in the world right now, you might resonate with that. There's not a lot of information out there on them, but another reason is because I love birds, and my last name means bird. It's Vogel, which is German for bird. And so I brought this little bird, that figurine that I bought a while back that's got blue coloring to it. And also the jays outside have really been going off today. They're getting to where the birds are going to start singing a lot more around here, which is the time of year I love in this place and I'll miss about living here. The other thing I was channeling is a song. I know it as the Andrews Sister version, which is an old wartime quartet. I think they're a quartet or a trio. They sang harmonies. During World War II, they were sisters, the Andrews sisters, right? But I don't think this is their song. I think it's a song that they borrowed maybe from Calypso or some type of other musical art form from another part of the world, not from here. But the lyrics are drinking rum and Coca-Cola, both mother and father, working for the Yankee dollar. And so I don't know where that's from. I meant to look it up before I came onto the reading so I could share the original, like where the song's originally from. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, both mother and father, something, 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 working for the Yankee dollar. And so it's, it's like it strikes me as not from them, that they covered it from an older Calypso version. So that might have meanings. It strikes me as maybe being something from the islands, especially with the rum reference. So anyways, I just wanted to also share that if you resonate with island music or the islands in particular, and rum is also used in magic of the islands, that might have meaning for you. It might be like a confirmation for you that this is your reading, right? Or this reading might have meaning for you. The third thing that I was struck by and wanted to share is there's often a lot of talk about cleansing your energy, warding off evil eye. In fact, I made a little short video this morning that was meant to do that if you play it, it wards off evil eye or attacks, energetic attacks at you. And then the more I was thinking about it, the more I remembered and like to share, and I don't hear people talk about this very often, but what do you do when you feel like resentful, when you feel jealous or envious, when you feel angry at someone, when you feel, and those are normal human emotions. I'm not saying don't feel those. As a clinical social worker, it would be really irresponsible to suggest that we shouldn't feel those things. We do, and we should, and they're cues to us that we need to make a change. But one thing I try to do, and I'm curious if you're even conscious of this, because most people don't talk about this aspect of this kind of work. When you're the one that feels angry or resentful, and even if you're not sure which side that's on, whether it's a projection that someone feels like that towards you and you're now picking up on it, or whether it's a legit reason that you feel angry or resentful or even jealous and envious, we all go there. We've all felt it. If we're trying to grow as people, we try to mitigate that, right, and be responsible for it. How do you take responsibility for when the bitterness is on your side of the equation? The way that I do it is to try to cut cords. I'll find myself at times like really resonating with a reader for a while on YouTube, and then pretty soon it's like suddenly their messages aren't for me anymore, and I can just feel it, and I start being annoyed with them. Well, rather than hate watch and get annoyed and frustrated with them, I'll just unsubscribe and cut the cord, because I don't want to send negative energy to that reader, just like I don't want negative energy to be sent my way. So I really want to reinforce or just put out there, maybe I'm speaking more as a clinical social worker, but also as a practitioner. I'm a hedge witch. I'm not a part of a coven. I'll never be part of a coven. I'm not a joiner. I do my own practice, just like I've never really been a churchgoer. Like, I don't like that. It's not for me. It never has been. I'm a person that values solitude and doing my work privately. But I like to share as a clinical social worker that if you're the one that's harboring that, you have just as much of a responsibility to cut cords as when you're cutting cords to protect yourself. So I'm hoping that that message will resonate for someone, maybe just, or for a group of people, as a reminder that we have to manage our own energy when we are around people that annoy us. I get annoyed a lot. I have a short fuse. My Mars is in Aries. I get aggravated with people that I think aren't doing the work, or that are projecting, or that are giving me, and it's like at some point it doesn't matter. I need to cut cords, not just for my own health, but also so that I don't send toxic energy towards them, because I don't like to do that. More or less, I'll do return to sender when I have to, but I don't send people negative energy. I don't do spell work against people to put them in their place, or I don't believe in that. Often I'll do return to sender, because it's like, you know what, bitch, I can feel you sending me that fucking energy. Take it back. It's yours. It's not mine. Return to sender. Reflect back. But just as often, I'll try to just alchemize it so that it goes away. Energetically, it just is dispersed and doesn't cause any more harm. So just a reminder out there to make sure you're managing your own energy. If you catch yourself harboring ill will or resentment towards people, you have to cut cords in that case too, so that you take your power back and you give them back their power, and you're not causing harm, right? So if you're a dark person and you want to cause harm, whatever, knock yourself out, I guess. It's going to come back to you in the end. Just know that. People don't win that way, in my experience. They always take themselves out. That's been my experience anyways. So now I just wanted to do a layout kind of with this blue avian theme. This is like a little deck of cards that I ordered from France. that Elle magazine created, and I think these were like punch out cards that came in one of their magazines at some point in European Elle. And they're just majors. They're just the major arcanas. And some people will do readings just with the majors. It's been a long time since I've done a reading like that. So what I wanted to do is use these as the majors, and then this deck of playing cards from Amsterdam as, there's a King of Hearts there that just kind of wanted to be noticed, as the pips. So I wish they were the same size and I could just blend them all together and shuffle them, but they're not. So I'm going to be experimenting with how can I work with these decks with this kind of indulgent, we just want to feel good for a change, right? Like I feel really burdened today with the worries of the world, and I keep trying to turn it over to something greater, but it keeps afflicting me. So that's when I kind of started cutting cords and remembering, like, I don't have to have all the answers. I'm just one person and part of a greater, I don't know what you want to call it, a greater force in this world that's, God, that juniper smells so good. I just want to do more and more juniper. More juniper. It smells really good. I'm just going to put all the berries on there that I pulled out. So I think, how am I going to do this? How am I going to read these so that it's all one layout? Because sometimes it's not often, but sometimes you'll get a layout that doesn't have any majors, right? It's all minor arcana. But typically that's not true. So what I think I'll do is pick my lucky number, which is 3, and I'll do 3 majors and then the rest pip. And, or no, I know what I'll do. I just had it. I'll do majors in the foundational column, and that'll be the things that are happening that are beyond us, and then how we can respond. And that's going to be the idea behind the tip practice. We'll see how it goes. This is an experiment. I haven't done these yet. I haven't worked with this in any way yet. So I'm just kind of winging it. I'm winging it. But I like that these were fashion based, right? Like, I love fashion, but especially lately I'm too broke really to be indulging in haute couture, right? Like, I get a lot of secondhand, which I can still do, but even then it's expensive. Like, if you love Alaya or something, even vintage Alaya still goes for like in the thousands of dollars. I would love a vintage Alaya dress or skirt and top set, but they're in the thousands of dollars, right? So even secondhand, that's one thing that holds value a lot of times is high fashion. But I like that these are fashion-based, women's fashion. Like, women often get shamed for being interested in fashion, but what's wrong with adorning ourselves? And if you're a blue avian, if you're someone that relates to that, that's part of it, right? Enjoying the finer things, liking beauty, being drawn to beauty, right? Being drawn to looking beautiful and adorning yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. And I wanted to celebrate that by buying this deck. It's out of print. You can't get it anywhere, but... So let's find out here. What are the 4 pillars of this reading? The Moon, the Empress, very nice. The Lovers, and healing. So that's cool. There's healing, the Lovers, the Empress, and the Moon. So this is very feminine energy. And very feminine. There's 3 feminine energies present: the Moon, the Empress, and Temperance, and then the Lovers. So this is going to be a love reading for someone. What should we know about love for this layout? And love is one of those things. Like, love is the highest law, but romantic love is one of those kinds of things that can bring us a lot of pleasure in the body. Dopamine, right? Like pleasure. Some people get addicted. There's that phrasing out there that says that you can become a love addict, right? Or a sex addict. So what is it about love that we need to be attending to here for this layout today? Oh, and that reminds me too, I wanted to you probably noticed it. Right here, let me finish the layout and then I'll point it out. I wanted to just name this book. I just ordered it. I haven't even opened it yet. But if you go into the description box, you'll see these writers. They have a Patreon account. I think they're currently on a book tour for this book and for their magic work. They're Roma women, Romani women, and we have the Roma people to thank for tarot and for a lot of our divination work in the modern world. And it's important to acknowledge that. And I kind of got to on that tip thanks to another card reader, Lane Smith, who wrote the book 78 Acts of Liberation. Like, some Roma people feel like this work, especially as much as it's exploded on YouTube, has kind of been stolen. And so I really want to acknowledge that without the Roma community, we wouldn't have this probably in our lineage and in our long-term memory. And so I'm really excited to read about this through these two women authors. So this book is available on Amazon and on a couple of other platforms if you don't want to support Amazon. Secrets of Romani Fortune Telling, Divining with Tarot, Palmistry, Tea Leaves, and More by Jasmina Von Thiel and Paulina Stevens. So really cool. I can't wait to dig in. And I subscribe to their Patreon too because I'm broke. I can't do the higher level, but I did the lower one too because I want to support them. And if you would like to support them, you can click on that link and either order their book or join their Patreon or whatever, right? Okay, so back to this. We have the moon, which is the cornerstone. So things may not be as they seem right now, and that's important. But the moon is also reflects feminine energy, right? And it's the cornerstone of the message. You're trying to let your desires for love come to you. That's the choice that you've made, is that I don't chase anymore. I'm a regal empress, and I'm going to let what is meant for me in love to come to me. It's important to know that things may not be quite what they seem right now, but you're comfortable with lunar energy, so you're not worried about illusion or elusive, strange tricks of the light and things like that in the world. It's a world that you kind of get down with and that you understand and feel comfortable in. The facts position is that you're on a healing journey. So your vulnerability position is the Two of Pentacles, and this is a lower echo of the Lover's card. So you might be having trouble making a choice in love or choosing how you want. You know in your wiser mind that you want to attract and not chase anything, but you also might end up being faced with a choice between lovers or between how you want to respond to a lover as they move towards you, because where the energy is headed is a Knight of Wands. And so this strikes me as a lover. If we're speaking of masculine and feminine, it doesn't have to be literal, but someone in masculine energy who's going to come rushing towards you with a lot of passion, with their wand erect, right? Like with someone who wants to get busy with you, who's very attracted to you, right? That's where the energy is headed. Your vulnerability is the choice that's going to involve for you. You might be very drawn to this person, but I'm not sure you can trust them, especially with this lunar energy present. The Three of Pentacles is at the very heart of things, and what I should say is the Two of Diamonds and the Three of Diamonds, because I'm using playing cards, so it's okay to name their suits. I just try to remember their corresponding tarot so I understand a little better the depth of how to read playing cards. But at the heart of the matter is the Three of Diamonds. So you're wanting to work with someone. You're wanting to connect in love. You're wanting to build with someone. You're wanting to create a life that's based in the tangible world around us, the material that you can know and count on and rely on, and that is mutual. It's, again, not somebody that you're chasing. It's someone that there's a mutual regard that you both want to build together. That's the very heart of things. Your strength position is the Nine of Wands. So it's interesting that came in a strength position. It can often mean like a lot of fast moving energy. So you can move quickly, just like this Knight of Wands, right? You can move quickly as well. You're quick on your feet. You also have the power of fire within you. So it's not something that you've got an overabundance of water or lunar or even an overabundance of pentacles. You have fire within you, and that's your strength. You can keep up with the Knight of Wands if that's what you choose. This can also mean, though, that you're a little bit battle weary from wounds of the heart. You might have been burned in the past, right? You might have learned some hard lessons in love, and that's also your strength, is that you're not going to go into this with eyes closed. You have the wisdom of your past relationships and past experiences to guide you and know, to help you be discerning and to watch out for where you might be getting played, for example, right? That's the facts. That's your strength. The devil on your shoulder makes you a little combative, and I really relate to that. My Mars is in Aries. I don't know if I said that yet, or if I just said it to a friend in a conversation. I can run combative, right? Especially if I feel vulnerable and tired and fed up. Like, my go-to can be anger, where it's like, fuck, back off, right? Like, stop fucking with me. I don't want... In fact, I just messaged someone that recently that was like, I feel fucked around with. Like, stop fucking with me. What are you doing, right? Like, I don't understand what's going on, and I haven't heard back from that person. So it leaves me with my own kind of like, I need to reflect. Was I too harsh? Were my sword's words a little too wounding, right? Conflict. The devil on your shoulder, or your shadow aspect of self, might tempt you into getting into a conflict when your higher mind and your higher reasoning doesn't really want to, because in your conscious mind, you want to be a King of Pentacles yourself. You want a King of Pentacles that's stable. If you're in this Empress energy, you want someone that can bring you stability, security, abundance. You also want to embody this. You want to be secure yourself in the material world. You don't want to resort to petty conflict, tit for tat, getting in a battle of words, wounding, one-upmanship, right? Like, you don't want a relationship like that, but you might be vulnerable to it at times with the Swords energy. The Five of Swords indicates conflict. So you might be a little bit quick to get your hackles up, right? Or quick to be reactive. That's 100% me. I can be very reactive, and I've had to learn to temper that. Sometimes that's good. Like, it means I'm a warrior, right? Like, I can fight back just as good as someone's giving to me. I can give it back. So I know how to defend myself. But in this case, with it being kind of in the shadow aspect of self, you're really wanting to try to listen to something greater, which is, I want to sow seeds of stability and honor and royalty, right? I don't want to be down in the, in that kind of energy, right? Where things are headed is that Knight of Wands, like we said, or the Knight of Clubs. And so it's going to be important with a lot of that passion flying through the dynamic that you don't fall into that shadow aspect of self, right? So let's see what else about this relationship. Let's see what else about the relationship. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Something, da-na. Both mother and father working for the Yankee dollar. Let go of your timeline. Trust the natural flow of nature. Patience. So that shadow side of you, or little diablito on your shoulder, might be wanting you to provoke something because you're getting impatient, and you don't want to do that. Don't do that, right? You're kind of being guided away from that. Your realness is rare. So your willingness to be authentic and own who you are is rare, and it's a gift that you're going to bring to this dynamic and this relationship. And it's okay to be real. It's okay to admit your follies, right? Or your inner demons, right? It's okay to own them and to channel them. I try to do that. I try to honor the fact, yeah, I know I can be combative. I know that I can cause harm with my words, and I try to temper that. I don't always succeed, but I allow myself to be human, and I allow myself to indulge. As someone who resonates with a concept like Blue Avians, like, I allow myself, I indulge my devil, I indulge my shadow sometimes, because I realize that's a help for me anyways. That's a healthy way to manage my shadow, right? Be wise as the serpent and gentle as the dove. That strikes me as that very energy, right? Like you want to be grounded, you want to be regal, you want to be sovereign, you want to be a king of the material world, but you also want to be gentle. You want to be uplifting and light. You want levity. You want to be wise as a serpent, yet gentle as a dove, right? Like you want to be able to embody all of those qualities. Sacred marriage alchemy, and that's what comes up here with this Lover's card and Temperance card. It's a healing journey for you, and this relationship can further your healing as long as you stay grounded in who you are, right? And don't forget your own vulnerabilities. None of us are perfect, right? We all have strengths and vulnerabilities that we bring to any relationship. What else to know here? What else about this relationship? I'm going to pull some tiles too, but that means I've got to walk across the camera for a second because I forgot to grab the bowl. But I am going to pull some tiles for this reading as well. What else to know about this Knight of Wands and where the energy is headed? What should we know about that Knight of Wands? Knight of Clubs in the playing card system. And this is a King of Diamonds, which corresponds to King of Pentacles. What else about the Knight of Wands can we know? Six of Pentacles, so well, let me keep going here. The Tower, the Six of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups. So it's a very catalytic energy that he's bringing to the dynamic. You may want something to be in a very balanced, equal give and take. It's going to be coming up against a Tower-like energy and a Four of Cups energy. Four of Cups can mean meditation, but it can also mean very easily getting into scorekeeping and tit for tat and not seeing what the person brings that's good, for example, or they may do that to you, right? What else about this? I'm curious. Temperance is here twice. So this relationship has the power to bring healing in, but it's very catalytic with all this fire. But it strikes me as, there's fire, air, pentacles, and cups. It can bring balance. Your realness is rare. You're both going to have to be real with each other and who you are, though. You're both going to have to be aware of the power of this relationship to be so catalytic for both of you that neither of you are ever the same. That when you come together, it's going to change both of your lives at a truly foundational level that brings a tower maybe to those around you, right? Or to your own lives. But it's also very healing with this Temperance card here twice. It can bring a lot of healing in a very catalytic way, which strikes me as if you're both blue avians, you want that kind of depth of feeling. You want that kind of excitement, that kind of power in a relationship. You want authenticity. You want power. Neither of you want to be bored. That's coming through really strongly. You both want to be challenged. Neither of you want to get bored in a relationship. And you both may be personalities that have gotten bored in the past in relationships. So this strikes me as kind of an equal match. But you're both going to have to be really wise about it and gentle. Both qualities are called for here, or else you could do real damage to the relationship if one of you has ego that's running out of control, right? Or both of you, right? Because that can happen where two big egos come together and they can't make it. Something about Madonna is coming to mind. Madonna had a big ego. She has a hard time surrendering to somebody else's ego, right? And so I'm not saying that critically. Madonna's another person who lost her mother at a young age, like I did. I also learned after I was talking about John Lennon in another reading, that so did Paul McCartney. That's what brought them together in many ways. Jimi Hendrix was another person, and they've all come through in readings lately. Now here came Madonna. Madonna also lost her mother in her childhood, so there's something to that. You might resonate. You might be someone like me who lost a parent at a young age, or even more particularly, your mother, right? So you've got to watch out for ego here. I'm going to pull some of these Colette Baron read. God, my feet are falling asleep here. I don't know what's going on with that. What else else is good advice for this relationship from the Colette Baron Reed deck? What's good advice for this relationship? Regeneration at the bottom of the deck. So this might be a quiet time before the regenerative quality of this relationship comes into focus. It's a little bit of a stark image, like when trees are in the dormancy of winter. Even though it's a dormant time where it seems like on the surface there's not a lot going on, there is a lot going on under the surface in the root structure of the tree. And that's where we are. We're about to see the bursting open of spring in the northern hemisphere, right? So we're in our winter phase in the northern hemisphere. Why? This is a question card. It's card 31. The question is why, as the title of this card. And I'm going to read the relationship meaning here. We don't always know why we engage in our relationships in the way we do, mostly because our feelings aren't always logical. Now is the time to recognize whether you are being triggered by someone else or if your behavior is motivated by unresolved issues in the past. When you ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? And why did I say that? And spend some time in introspection, the answers may be surprising. Listen to the messages from your intuition, from the knowing deep within you. What does it tell you about yourself and others? In the end, life is all about being loved. Miracles and deep understanding of your needs and how to get them met are the buried treasures of the why. Uncover them by posing the most powerful question you can ask yourself and your partner today. Why? So that strikes me as going to be very valuable advice for coping with how catalytic this relationship is going to be for both of you. It's not just catalyzing for you. And if you're in this Empress status right now, it might feel very disruptive to that. This relationship is going to come in and disrupt some of your inner peace that you found in solitude. But it strikes me again as not unwelcome. Both of you, your realness is rare, right? So you're both, if you let yourself do that work on both sides, this relationship can be powerfully healing for both of you with this Temperance card here twice. It's really coming through strongly. It's a good omen. So now I'm going to, what am I going to do? I might pull a plant card and then I'll pull some tiles. What's a good plant medicine that can be something helpful regarding dealing with a relationship like this, right? What's a good plant medicine? Arnica, which was on the split, and arnica is a very pain relieving. In fact, I forgot I meant to mention this. I have this shoulder injury right now, and the weird thing is I didn't even do anything. I literally reached across my other shoulder to massage a knot and pulled something, and it's just gotten worse and worse. And I keep thinking it's going to heal, but it just gets worse and worse. So this morning I was like, dude, just face it. You need to go to the doctor and get some treatment for it, either physical therapy or I'm going to have my arm in a sling for, I don't know. I don't know what the treatment's going to be if I did some soft tissue damage. It's frustrating because I literally didn't do anything. I reached in a way that you always reach, right? It's not, but because you always reach in the way that I did, maybe I keep re-injuring it, right? And I need to give it some kind of rest, but it's sore as hell, right? So I don't know why I felt like I needed to share that, but I did. Arnica, oh, because of arnica. Maybe I need to get some arnica. I've been using another pain relieving salve that I made that has cannabis and caffeine in it. So it helps stimulate blood flow and it also kills the pain. And that's helping, but I don't think it's helping it heal. It's just helping soothe the pain. But arnica is another one that you can use to soothe your physical pain. Although I'm not going to read that description, I'm going to go ahead and pull Hawthorn, okay, yeah, this is, it was a flyer almost because it was wrong way in the deck. Hawthorne is the card, and I know Hawthorne very well. In fact, if I had to choose, Hawthorne was the most powerful ally in helping me heal my own grief. And you may have some unhealed grief that can get triggered in such a catalytic relationship like this. Taking Hawthorne keeps the heart center open. It helps heal Joyce Nedishin, one of my teachers and a plant spirit medicine practitioner, says Hawthorne heals the bloody wounds of the soul. It's very powerful as a heart healer, both energetically and physically. It's used in Europe fairly regularly for people with heart conditions because it does what the heart needs. It's global in that way in terms of it being a heart medicine. It's not like, oh, you can only take it if you only have this heart condition. Like, it's very healthy for the blood and for the heart. And I'm going to read their description. I don't think I've ever read their description of Hawthorne. It's a medicine I'm so acquainted with that I almost at times feel like no one can teach me about it, which again is not true. That's ego, right? So I want to read their description and hear what they say about Hawthorne. Lantern holder. Hawthorne is the love light. This generous tree has a long-standing relationship with humans and our hearts, our core interface with the world and source of knowing. Many think that the brain is responsible for our intelligence, but in fact, the heart is our primary brain in the body, the receiver and interpreter of what is going on around us. The brain is the translator and director of action and choice. If we are to know how we want to be in the world, how we want to love, where and what kind of action we want to take, the heart is the agent of this impulse, movement, and direction. Hawthorne is the single most attuned plant to working with the human heart on all levels. Our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual selves are all in conversation with each other, intertwined in action and consequence. If you are dealing with a physical condition of the heart, chest pain, or discomfort, Hawthorne is an important ally. If you are undergoing great change, heartbreak, or grief, you must also call to this plant. When our emotional heart is aching, our physical body reacts, revealing that we are going through something that requires our attention. So attend. Call on Hawthorne as a mender, a renewing bridge between body and soul. Hawthorne will whisper your name in the middle of the night. Hawthorne will help you hold your head up in the light of day. Hawthorne will remind you that you are loved, that you are whole, and that you will be okay. Wounds within the heart, whether physical or emotional, are reflective of what we can give or receive, what we cherish and what we have lost. Care for these memories, transitions, and experiences as you would a child. I couldn't agree more. It's very beautiful. And if you both have wounds in your past, Hawthorne can be a medicine that you can both take. And in fact, I am an herbalist and I have Hawthorne tincture here in my home, and I'll sell you a bottle. If you want a bottle of my Hawthorne, I make good Hawthorne medicine because it's my most cherished plant ally. And I have a Hawthorne tincture right now. It's alcohol based, so it would not be a good idea for someone with alcoholism to take. If that's the case, then I recommend taking it in a glycerin tincture. Mine is in brandy, I think, but it's Hawthorne berries plus Hawthorne flowers and leaves. So that is something, and wherever I move and live, I try to plant a Hawthorne tree to thank it for everything it's done for me, because it has been a huge part of my own healing from my own sorrows. So now I'm going to pull some tiles, if I can just get up here and unstiffen. I have arthritic joints anymore. Okay. What else can you tell us about this relationship, Spirit? It's going to be very healing for both of you. Because of this Five of Swords in your shadow aspect of self, you might feel tempted at times to be trickster or manipulative, and it's saying don't resort to that, right? You've got to clear that away And again, go within and look for, where does that come from? In my case, I had a stepmother that was very manipulative. She had I think probably a fairly serious personality disorder. And not that people with personality disorders all engage in manipulation. In fact, all humans engage in manipulation. But she was very tricky about it, like a narcissist, right? So you've got to really watch out for any of this kind of quality within yourself if you want this relationship to succeed, because you're both very powerful, and the impact of the relationship on both of you is very powerful. So that's something to treat with respect. Seasons. Hawthorn is a plant that you harvest over multiple seasons if you want the most complete form of the medicine. Dig in and do the work. I pulled too many of these, and like I've said in the past, but I'm going to go ahead and read them all, because whatever. 1 week. Make a change. 24 hours. Lunar cycle. There's the moon again. A hard no. And love. So love, you're going to really have to be holding your boundaries and saying a hard no to any tricky or manipulative behavior on both sides, okay? Because you're both very powerful figures. So as catalytic as this relationship is going to be, it can be very healing, but it's going to require a big responsibility on both your parts to keep it healthy, right? And not like a broken pattern from the past, right? You don't want to repeat any of that. You've done a lot of work here, and it strikes me as you can trust that. And there's something about a week, 24 hours to a week from now, there might be some movement in this relationship. This relationship will help you feel seen. You're both going to feel very seen in this relationship. Dame. This strikes me as Dame Dash. Dame Dash and his partner, I really feel badly, but I'm blanking on her name right now. They have this really beautiful relationship, and he brings her up, Raquel, maybe short for Raquel. But in fact, I shared a video where it shows them talking about working together and how they both have overcome any impulse within to get manipulative. So Dame Dash might be a masculine energy it's wise to sort of look at how he treats his woman, for example. Look at how he treats his partner. Look at what she gives back to him, right? That's something that might be important. Mauve. Mauve might have meaning. Pence. I don't know, Pence. Raven. Raven is known as a trickster in some ways, but also as a very powerful spirit animal, right? Raven might be a guide for you in this relationship. Pure. This love is very pure, okay? It's very pure. It's very raw. Dave. Pause. Oh my God. Dame Dash is really coming through here. Maybe subscribe to his channel, American New Network. He says pause a lot, and he has this buzzer thing that he hits, right? And it's to emphasize points that he's making, I think. So there's something about Dame Dash, because that's twice now. Dame and then pause, okay? So I'm just going to name it. I'm not trying to revere him like a god or anything. I'm not trying to be celebrity worship, but you might be someone that resonates with his style. I do. I think he's amazing. And he very much evaded that entire toxic crap that has gone down with Diddy, and I'm going to include Jay-Z in it. Sorry, not sorry, right? Even though he's not being called out in the same way that Puffy is right now, Jaguar Wright says that he's even worse, you know? Cause. This relationship, you might bond over causes, right? Over social causes. Pace yourself, right? Let go of your timeline, it said. Trust the natural flow of nature. Pace yourself. USA, you might be someone that lives in the USA right now. Mace, wow, there's a lot of rappers coming through. Mace was affiliated with them, right? Whoa, I don't know what that's about. Maybe you're just someone who likes that era of music, right? What else? Dan. DNA. Eve. Caesar, it's a very, you know, royal, like this King of Pentacles, Empress, you know, you guys might feel like, or you all might feel like royalty, right? Caves are notorious for meditation. They're considered portals, right? You might be somebody that likes to go spelunking, though, on a more mundane level. But caves are portals, and cenotes came through in another reading. So there might be something about the cenotes of Mexico and Central America. Maud is a name. Maud. Eraser. Oh, no, there's no R. Erase, though. Erase. Dara. And Dare. Nev. Cap. Car. Mud. Never get down in the mud. Because there's some mud still right there. Never get down in the mud if you want this to work. Pacer is a car. You might be into the races. I think the Pacer has something to do with that. Nas, yeah, rap is really coming through strong here. You might be a huge rap fan. I am. Eraser, I mean, yeah, Eraser we already did, but okay, I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and close the reading. Thank you for being here and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.